All right, folks, this video we're going to look once again at the mineraptorium.com as well as my actual results and see if it is worthwhile to mine with your Intel CPU. Now, there's a couple things that may or may not make this profitable. One, are you just running your Intel CPU to mine, right? It doesn't have anything else going on. If you already got the computer on and you're mining with your GPU, it makes a difference, okay? And why does it make a difference? Because all we want to do is look at the wattage that's used by the CPU, what the max value is. So lots of ways to figure that out. You can do some adding and subtracting, but most likely that CPU is using, 20 to 30 watts, okay? If you're already mining, you're doing GPU mining. So when we look at this mineraptorium.com, that's one thing we actually have to, in my opinion, take into account. So you see the defaults. If I come in and just put in any old Intel i5, if you're not really paying attention down here. Now, if you were to mine all by itself, would you use 125? And that depends on all the crap you've got hooked up in that computer, right? You do have losses. So if your CPU uses 65 watts continuously, divide that by 0.8, point whatever your efficiency, your power supply is, and that'll actually give you a better idea how many watts, okay? Now, motherboard takes power, RAM takes power, SSD takes power, that RGB crap that you guys like, I love RGB actually, but the RGB is just waste electric when you're mining, so it's not very useful. All the case fans, if you've got an open rig like a lot of mine are, you don't have a lot of case fans, so power consumption is a lot less. So let's just look at this i5 11400. There it is, real world, what it's doing right now, what it's averaging. So mine is averaging less than the example, but right now it is cranking, okay? So this CPU, I've never seen it use more than, 60 some watts. So maybe it can. Depends on, some of your Intel XTU settings or what you've done on your motherboard. You can get it to use more power. PL1, PL2 if you set them to limited. But in this case, we've got one. It's GPU mining. So regardless, all that power would be used towards the graphics card, okay? So I'm just going to say 65 watts in here. And this is basically what it's saying my profit is per day, okay? What does that come out to per month? $6 basically, right? A little less than that. Hell, I'll take it. All right, we have a 9700. We've got a ton of CPUs, and they're probably not even in here. Let's look at the 10100. Is this one worth mining on? So we kept that 6 cents. Now, to be honest with you, if I really wanted to look at this, I would say probably 35 watts, okay? And that's probably really what it's making. But we're going to leave these at 65 watts. There's somebody out there to argue the point with me, but, who's right, who's wrong, it's another story. Now, I didn't put my efficiency in this, and I don't think this guy's spreadsheet puts it in there either, right? So how accurate is this? Good question. Now, what CPUs do we actually have here, folks? I can't use the i7 9700K. This is a little off. We're going to say, the 10700K is going to do better, but just for the hell of it, we're going to compare these two. Now, this guy can use, what is it, 95 watts, 17 cents per day, okay? Now, what is it, 10700K actually doing? Pretty good, right? Not really, when you compare it to the Ryzen. So it's actually doing better than the average, 862. Yeah, we're doing better. It's amazing how that works out. Now there's a mistake here with the 8700K. It is not actually doing that. I must have another, say, maybe I have the 3200G with the same name. Now the 10900 I have, it just, I just got this cranking. Let's see if it will register with a new value. And there we go. Back up. So 10900. Yeah. This is on par with probably the i7 10700Ks, etc., etc. All right. So where do we go from here, folks? Definitely probably have some questions. Maybe I haven't answered it yet, but I'm going to give you my opinion on this. If you have a crap ton of Intel CPUs, okay, and they're already mining with the GPU, it is worth your time. Why is it? Well, I've made $5 a day from all these CPUs. Now, I may burn them out early. That's right. You know, that could happen, but we have pretty much Noctua CPU coolers on all these, so they can take some abuse, and the temps are still pretty low. So you've got that aspect. Do you have a lot of these to make it worth it? Do you have something like an i9? If you have an i9, let's just look at, actually, I have one of these. I don't know why it's not showing up in here, folks. I'll have to go check that out. This guy is not currently mining for some reason. So 1166. And if we compare that, let's put the AMD in there. It takes basically 3 Intel i9s to match a 5900X when it comes to mining. Now, what is my power? 95, 125 watts, whatever. It depends, you know, can depend on your settings, right? Now, I have not done any extensive looks at how much my CPUs are burning up. This is one of those places where it can determine really whether it's worth your time, okay? So if you have a device that you can measure what your computer is using for watts at the plug, okay, at the receptacle, you can get a good idea if what the difference is between mining on a GPU only versus mining on both the GPU and CPU. Plug that value in there and then come back and see if it's worthwhile, okay? Now, in my case, go back to this. My average supposedly is 9.94, and I'm getting paid roughly at this point now every 24 hours. So we plug that back into here. And how are we going to do that, folks? I'm going to say, I don't really, you know, I have 3 i9s, right? So 3 i9s, that gets you there. And we have 3 10th gen i9s. So this is a little high. Let's take one of them off. Okay, is that close? That's close to what we can, our max that I can do here. What does that come out to for payday? 340 per day? Oh, that's terrible. So I'm getting paid greater than this. So there seems to be something wrong with this. Now, here's the other thing. If we calculate it like this, watts per mining rig, you know, is that accurate? Good question. It's probably not, folks. But yeah, 334. So you're getting paid. This does not show it. Here it is. Yeah, this is close. So this is about what I'm getting per day, $5. Okay. And is it worth it? You know, we'll see when I get the next electric bill if it was worth it. But, you know, $5 times 30, another $150 a day, right? So it seems good. Could it be better? Yeah, it could be better. Now, obviously, had I have saved my money, folks, let's just delete these. Had I have known AMD was going to be such a rock star, and I had bought, say, 3 of these, and I'm just going to put, you know, because of the way this channel is, I would have bought one of each thing, right? I have one of those. Maybe I would have bought one of those. I would have had one of those. We'd have had one of those, right? You getting my point? Probably would have had one of these. Might have had one of those. Then, you know, you're starting to clean up, right? So if I could go back and I knew that AMD was going to be useful for mining, I would have bought AMD. So you can see for me, about the same quantity of CPUs if I were to buy AMD, and I'm making more than double the money, right? Where'd that value go? Yeah, triple, almost triple. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you got something out of it. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.